And we're back! Welcome to another episode of eXhuming the X-Files here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew. I'm joined once again by my dear friend Jeremy.
I'm here.
And we are ready. I mean, last week we were talking about killer trees. This week we're going to be talking about killer dolls. We're talking episode 10, Chinga, written by Stephen King and Chris Carter. They sort of co-wrote this episode. I had no recollection of this ever from my childhood. Did you?
Nope.
This felt like something I should have remembered. Like, at the time, I mean, we are both very big Stephen King fans. I did not even realize that Stephen King wrote an X-Files episode.
And you would think they would be putting it, like, on promos. Watch this Friday as Stephen King writes an episode of The X-Files.
Yeah, you would think, because, I mean, the kids listening to this nowadays, the millennials, they have no idea how big Stephen King was in the 80s and 90s. Stephen King was like the biggest writer in the world. I mean, his books
Master
would sell
of horror.
Yeah, millions of copies. Every time a new Stephen King book would drop, it would be like a cultural event. Everybody would stop what they're doing and be like, oh my God, there's a new Stephen King book out. Let's read it. And then not only the books, but the 90s were just completely populated with Stephen King on television. So you have like Langoliers, you'd have the Stand, you'd have like he did that Shining remake where he got to kind of make The Shining how he really wanted it because he hates
the version. He did Pet Cemetery where they killed a little kid with a semi for the first time on network television.
Yeah. So he like whenever there was like an event, they would promote the hell out of it. Like there's a 4-night event. Stephen King's The Stand. Be there on ABC for all the stuff. He was huge, absolutely huge. No recollection at all that Stephen King did an X-Files episode. And maybe after watching this, Stephen King was like, let's not attach my name to this one if you can. All right, Jeremy. Let's talk Chinga, which apparently is a slur. Do you know what the slur is? Are we allowed to say it on YouTube?
I mean, I don't know what we're allowed to say on YouTube.
Okay. I'm just gonna Google here. What does Chinga?
Look up Chinga tu madre.
Okay.
That's normally how you hear it.
Okay, Chinga. Okay, so chinga is a highly versatile and vulgar Mexican Spanish term derived from the verb chingar, generally equivalent to the English fuck, screw, or bother. It is used as a noun, verb, or adjective. So this title of this episode is like fuck?
Yeah.
God, jeez. Why? Isn't that the name of the doll? Like, is the doll named fuck? Is that...
I hope so.
What?
Look up the Wikipedia real quick. Find out if the doll's name was.
Okay, I'm going to bring this up. Okay, you go ahead and start us off here. What do we got in the cold open?
So it starts with mommy needs to shop for groceries while she's getting the stink eye from her kid.
Oh yeah, this kid.
Like she parks. She's like, please don't do whatever you're thinking of doing. We just need to get groceries from the store. And then as they're walking in, some old lady's walking out, also giving this lady the stink eye. Like everybody just hates this mom. Daughter wasn't to want to be in there. So she's like, I want to leave, mommy. And then the little doll that she's carrying, her eyes open, and it says something like, I want to play, like dolls do. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, everybody in the store just starts gouging their eyes out with their own hands, except for the mom.
Kinda. Like they're kind of like just rubbing fake blood around their eyes.
Yeah, like real bad.
It looks horrible. It looks horrible. Like it's embarrassing, is what it is.
And I at that moment, like, I don't know if you've read Desperation or The Regulators, a couple of very fine, very fucking dark books.
Yeah,
that involve an alien that it had inhabited or attempted to inhabit adults, and it can make the adults do things. It could make people around them do things, but it couldn't hang out in an adult's body for very long
Mm-hmm.
because the body just started falling apart. And was it? I know it got into an autistic kid in the second book. Did it get into an autistic kid in the first book, or did it just
I don't
jump between
remember.
people?
Yeah,
Well,
I'd have to reread them.
anyway, this alien entity, a Stephen King book, would make people do things to themselves when it was displeased, and this is what the intro reminded me of, was Tack from
Yeah,
Desperation,
yeah.
and it's implied that the doll is taking control of everybody. The Meat Man, back in the Butcher Block, apparently he's out of the influence of this doll, or at least far enough away that he didn't put a lot of red food coloring on his face. And he grabs a phone and calls. I don't even know who he calls, but he sees the reflection of the doll in a wall somewhere, and he whips around with a knife out like he's gonna do something, and the doll makes him stab himself in his own eyeball,
Yeah.
and then we get the title screen.
Yeah, and the mom sees that before it happens. Like she sees it in the reflection of the.
Oh, yeah, premonition almost.
Yeah, I will point out I've got the Wikipedia up here. The name of the doll is Chinga. So
Nice.
the doll, we should just refer to the doll as fuck from this point forward.
How many times can we say that word
Yeah,
on YouTube?
you just can't say it within the first 30 seconds. So as long as you don't say, well, yeah, I don't know if I said it within the first 30 seconds, but you can't say that. Otherwise, you get like quote unquote demonetized and they block your shit. But it doesn't matter. We got 10 people that listen to this thing each week anyway. So who cares?
All
So
10 of you faithless or faithful
faithless.
heroes listening to us.
I will
I
point
love
out.
all of you.
I will point out for those who do listen to the show and love the banter between Jeremy and I. A couple years ago, Jeremy and I, because we are big fans of Stephen King, we did a podcast. It was going to be a longer thing, but you know, you wanted me to read it or some or the or
Yeah, we were
something. I
gonna
was like,
we were gonna watch it and we were gonna read it. We were gonna compare the book and the
yeah.
movie.
I had no time to read that book, and you blew through it in like 2 weeks or something. But we actually did a show on Graveyard Shift where we watched Graveyard Shift and then we read the story and we compared them side by side. I'll link that in the description of this episode. So if you want to hear Jeremy and I wax poetic about Stephen King and Stephen King sort of stuff, go listen to our show on Graveyard Shift, which was a fun time. What did you think of this cold open? What you said you were kind of into it at the start?
I, the mom was really annoying, and all these people just started dying around her, and she's like, don't touch my kid. Or she was like, what was she fucking doing bringing that kid into a grocery store?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, she's like, we need groceries. We need groceries. But she knows the kid is like,
gonna kill everybody.
yeah. And then she tries to leave. It's like, can you leave her in the fucking car or something? Like,
Yeah.
why are you bringing her in? And then it's like,
Didn't even
super,
get a
super.
dozen eggs. Didn't
You
get
remember?
no milk.
Do you remember that show, Supermarket Sweep?
Oh God, yes.
I love that show.
I'm telling you, poor kids loved the shit out of that show because you got to go into the grocery store and just huck everything you ever really genuinely wanted.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you had to, for those who don't know, Google Supermarket Sweep. But the first thing people would ever do at the very end when they had to go like through this supermarket, like they took a shopping cart and ran through this supermarket as fast as they could, just trying to get the most expensive shit. They'd always run to the back and they get the turkeys and the hams and they just throw the shit in there. And this reminded me of like Supermarket Sweep, but she was too scared to actually put anything in her shopping cart because she's like running through this grocery store with all these people just rubbing fake Caro corn syrup all over their face and screaming. This could have been amazing if this was like an actual big budget horror movie sort of thing. Like I could imagine like Stephen King if he was sort of writing this sort of concept where they're like plucking their eyeballs out and you're seeing it sort of like the optic nerves stretching and snapping and people like literally tearing the flesh from their face. could have been amazing. This was not. And I
It
hated
was
that little kid. She had a stupid face.
stupid face.
I do like dolls, though. I like killer dolls. I always have. I love the Puppet Master movies. Love Child's Play. I'm all in on killer dolls. So I think when I saw this, I was like, I'll give this one a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'm a little disappointed by the whole execution of the tearing out the eyes sort of thing.
Does it get any better for you? I bet we'll get there. Cuts to Scully, and it's like Scully looks kind of hot driving in a top-down Mustang. And it's like she must be on vacation. She gets out because she's going to gas up this Mustang. She gets
not
out.
in a pantsuit, yeah.
No, she's wearing a T-shirt that says the word Maine. It's like she's got Maine written on her titties. Yeah. And then I started going, and it's like, this has got to be some nod to Stephen King. I didn't.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know. And so Mulder calls her, and right as she's trying to gas up her vehicle, and she's like, we're supposed to be, you and I are supposed to be on vacation. And he's just in his office harassing her like he's a little kid. And she's like, Mulder, I'm hanging up and I'm shutting off my phone. And then shuts the phone off and then almost runs into the mom and the little girl as they're fleeing this the grocery store parking lot. So Scully, like, what the hell was that all about? And then sees people stumbling out of the front of the store, like with bad eye makeup.
Oh, it's so bad.
One of them's like, I think we need a doctor. And nobody actually gouged their eyes out. Yeah, nobody gouged out their eyes. They just got red paint on their faces.
Yeah.
People are all confused, and the manager thinks Dave the Butcher is dead. Then Scully calls back to Mulder in his office, and he's watching hardcore pornography. He's like, and she starts talking. It's like, wait, Mulder, what are you watching? And he doesn't. If you look at his face, he's not committed to the phone call at all. His eyes don't leave the screen. He doesn't attempt to turn it down. He doesn't stop it. He doesn't even reach for the remote control. He's just, I guess I'm going to talk to Scully while watching porn. And he tells her that it's the world's most deadliest swarms. And you just hear girls moaning.
Well, we'll get there. But at the end of this scene, they try to go out of their way to show. Well, it's just a joke. He wasn't actually watching porn because they show a shot. He walks up and turns off the television, and it is somebody being swarmed by some sort of like crazy bees. It's like,
yeah. No. So Scully sees the only person not tearing their eyes out and points it out to the cops, like the pictures afterwards, and they're all like, well, who cares? And it's such a weird scene that the cops are investigating that they don't even remark that it's like, you know,
yeah, they're just
it doesn't
quiet.
matter.
They just kind of like look at her the whole time. They don't really do anything. It's like they're just kind of watching her to see if she can figure out what's actually going on. And that's multiple times throughout this episode. She's like, maybe you should talk to her. Like, do police work. That's a thing. We forgot to point out that Mulder does when she calls him up. She keeps hanging up on him throughout this episode because Mulder immediately jumps to it's witches. It's witches doing all of this stuff from his office.
Just making shit up. And they point out, after he says that it's witches, like the cops point out that the gal that was in the store, everybody thinks she's a witch. So it's like, oh God, really? And also, we were just talking about how we did our little video on Graveyard Shift.
Yeah. And
we talked about how atrocious some of those main accents were, particularly the foreman boss guy. He was trying. He was trying his ass off, but it sounded like shit.
Yeah.
But bless him for it. The main chief guy, like, starts a little bit with the bad main cop accent and then just gives up by about line 3 and just doesn't do it again. Thank God. Yeah. But then it cuts to Melissa, the mom. She gets a call from a younger cop who's just like apparently in love with her, I guess. But
Yeah.
she was banging the butcher that stabbed himself in the eyeball.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, I've got to come where you are. And the whole time she's on the phone, the daughter's like, Mommy, hang up the phone. Mommy, I want popcorn now. And jeez.
You got kids. What if one of your kids did that to you? What would you do?
I would probably make popcorn for myself and then eat it in front of them. Like, you have to teach manners. You have to teach all sorts of crazy things, boundaries in particular. And while the easiest way is just to, what is it? Get the belt. That doesn't work anymore. That's not a thing you do. So you got to get real creative and sometimes somewhat vindictive about teaching lessons.
Okay. Good to know.
So she's the cop is just like, I'm coming over. You know, I have to protect you. I can protect you. And
You need a man. You need a provider.
Yeah, it's so pathetically desperate, but she doesn't know how to say no. And so she sees in like the window that she sees the premonition that the cop is going to kill himself. Still can't convince the cop to leave or not show up. Scully at that point, in a completely different cop, the chief, shows up to Melissa's house. They look in through the front door. She sees that the back door is open. And then they go out on the back door, and the only thing the chief says as they're walking up to the house, he says, the sheets are still wet. What? So fantastic observation. We get to they find out that she was widowed last year.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where this conversation was slipped in. Because no, they're walking around her house. Like after walking into her empty back door or open back door. No, was it open?
Doesn't the sheriff guy tell Scully this story?
Yeah, but at the same time, Melissa is trying to light the cop on fire with fuel. Remember?
Wait.
Or is this way later?
No, that's way later, dude. That's like the end of the episode.
Well, why is... Okay, so after the pushy cop who kills himself with his own nightstick says, I'm going to come over there, the chief and Scully beat him there?
No. So the dude the cop who's now trying to like be her rebound after the butcher stabbed himself in the eye, he doesn't die until like the end of the episode. He's still like with her and trying to convince her to do shit through this whole episode. Then he dies.
Oh yeah, he gives her the keys to some cabin.
Yeah.
And he's like, I could be good to you.
Say that again, slower.
I could be good to you.
To you.
Yeah.
I can be good to you.
It was so bad. But she must be the only good-looking woman in this town. And you know what? Now that like Stephen King wrote this, he purposefully wrote that. There's probably one good-looking woman in all these tiny little Maine towns he writes about, and tons of people fawn over them. So he had to include it. So
there was more than one good-looking woman in Aurora. That's a town of like 3,000 people.
Matthew. There was one. She worked as a dental assistant for... I can't remember the guy. I can't remember her name other than she graduated a year ahead of us. She was one of the only women that stayed, and she was like,
Anna?
No.
Oh.
No, Anna was hot, but this gal was just like, could have been supermodel hot. She was the one hot girl that you would be hanging out at Mitchell's or the bowling alley or at a football game or over at the fair, and people would just bring up like, man, just talking about hot girls, and she would always enter the conversation. She was the one hot girl.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I must have forgotten who this girl was.
But also, that's a town of 4,400 people, by the way, with the one sit-down restaurant that's Pizza Hut.
Excuse me, princess.
This little town in Maine they're in is probably 400 people. It's a different deal.
The odds. You're saying the different odds. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
like a lot of the. How big was the town in Salem's Lot? It was only like a couple thousand, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there was like no hot chicks in Marquette. So that's
Hampton. Was
Hampton.
there one? Was there one in Hampton?
Were there even girls in Hampton?
What was that? There was a town that I didn't learn about until I came back after the army. That's just like right across the interstate going south on 14. And like 3/4 of the phone books, last name is Cleaver.
Oh, yeah. What is it? It starts with an S, I think.
No idea.
Not Stromsburg. God.
No.
What is
but
it?
You know what I'm talking about. No.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's talking about. That's the community that we're in.
Yeah. Because they were all like, well, we won't go there. There's a whole story about inverted nipples, but we won't talk about the inverted nipples.
Well, or for YouTube's algorithm, we can't say the word incest or inbreeders, and
it doesn't matter. Like, we don't care. Like the algorithm has fucked us over. The algorithm has chinga'd us, so it doesn't matter at this point in time. We've been chinga'd by the algorithm, so we can say whatever we want.
Well, the sheets are still wet, is where we're at. We find out that the wife was widowed last year. Polly lost her father. The daycare lady slaps Polly, and
you gotta remember, how was Chinga found? That it's all about the fisherman.
Oh yeah, he pulls it up like he's doing lobster fishing. You guys ever watch Deadliest Catch out there? 10 of you listening to this episode, maybe less, hopefully more. But he's out there on this kid's birthday, and he pulls up a doll in a lobster pot. It's like, I'm going to give this to my kid. Gross.
It looks so awful and nasty. And the old guy on the fisherman's boat is just looking at him like, really, dude? Like, you're going to give your kid this for the birthday?
You could give her a fucking lobster dinner.
And I'm going to name her Chinga.
Yep. And so the entire I wrote this entire chief conversation is fucking stupid. And then he says something about they're noticing that there's nails all over on the inside of the house that we never really talk about or is ever meaningfully addressed. But do you know how a nail works, right? You have to pound it.
I know how a nail works? Are you insulting my intelligence?
The sheets are still wet. The nail, in order to work, if you want to nail a door shut, if you want to nail a windowsill shut, you don't tap it in about 1/4 inch and then bend the fuck out of it and then move on to the next one, which was every single nail they were pulling or they were pointing out. None of them had been driven all the way home in order to stop anything from being open. It was just somebody who did not know how to swing a hammer bending the fuck out of nails. So the carpenter in me is raging at this point.
Yeah, okay.
But he says the last time we hear that bad chief Maine accents, maybe it's nailed shut so something can't get out. And even what I just did was a better accent than that. So
sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better. That was so good. Ground saw. So this cop, yeah, that's it. The cop that's the thirsty ass cop meets Melissa at an ice cream shop. And what it's like, Melissa, you just watched her kill a bunch of people at the grocery store. It's like you're just okay. Well, she has ice cream, so you know, as long as she has her iPad, she won't murder anybody. Like, what is Melissa doing as a parent in this episode?
Mommy, I want cherries.
Yeah, no, she didn't even. She said that afterwards. That little kid walked up to the front counter and just looked at the lady behind the counter and said, "More cherries. I want more cherries." And she looked at her a little bit. Was like, should I slap this kid? She should have,
It
but
was the 90s. It was probably allowed.
she's like, "No, sweetie, you have to bring your mother up, and she needs to pay a little bit more money if you want it." And she turns around and says, "Mommy, I want cherries." And then the doll gets activated.
Eyes open. It's time to play.
The the ice cream jockey gets her hair caught up in one of the blenders. So the cop like jumps over the counter to help her out while the mom flees with the kid.
It's so stupid. It is so Chinga. Stupid. Oh God.
Yes. But and then Scully and the Chief go talk to the old lady from the pre-title screen that meant nothing to us at any point up until this moment.
Yeah.
And she's just racist. She's like, "Oh, that whore."
Yeah.
She's a witch. And if I wish my ancestors were a little bit more thorough in burning her whole family. Okay, damn.
Yeah.
Melissa and Polly go up to the cabin. The gate guard at the cabins is like, "There's a really rough winter going on up there. Do you have any supplies?" There isn't a fucking snowflake anywhere. You can't see anybody's breath.
Have we gotten more Mulder yet at this point? Because this multiple times, like Scully is calling Mulder for like advice on what, because Scully is getting she's just trying to enjoy her vacation, and she keeps getting pulled into, like, there's a sequence in this where she's like in the bathtub in a bubble bath, and she's just trying to enjoy herself, and then the chief or whatever is just like outside her window, like saying, "Hey, we got another body. Like, you need to come here." By the way, as somebody who has filmed a girl in a bathtub with bubbles, those things pop very, very quickly. There is probably a bubble boy on set whose entire job was to keep creating bubbles and pouring them all over. Bubble boy! to pour those bubbles onto Gillian Anderson, because I have literally experienced it while I have been filming my dear friend Jasmine, who's like, "The bubbles are popping quickly, Matthew," and we were running downstairs trying to make bubbles out of in the kitchen sink, rushing them upstairs and pouring them all over her body. So,
do you have a bathtub at home, Matt?
Yeah.
When was the last time you took like a bath?
Oh, it's got to be years. Like, I don't take baths.
You need to go down to the Bed Bath and Beyond, get you a nice green tea and lavender bubble bath, and then literally pour like a full cup worth of soap in the hot water. You will have a mountain of bubbles to deal with, a problematic amount of bubbles. But I could put that camera on you for an hour and you would still not have dealt with that problem.
Well, remember, Jeremy, there was a time when you were covered in bubbles and they were popping pretty quick too, and I took a photo of you.
We didn't get stupid with the amount of soap. That's the trick, Matt. You got to put a ridiculous amount of bubble bath, but you will have just a mountain of bubbles. It's awesome. It's awesome, dude.
Now I'm just questioning why I film my friends in a bubble bath so often. Interesting.
Well, you know, what's that dude filmed Reservoir Dogs? And
Quentin Tarantino.
He likes feet, so you got your thing.
It's true. Uma Thurman's daughter, I can't remember, Maya Hawke.
Yeah.
They asked her, like, what did Uma Thurman, before you worked on Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, what advice did your mom give you about being on his set? And the first thing she said was, "Keep your shoes on." Quentin Tarantino.
I thought they had a good relationship.
Oh, I think they do, but I mean,
You could love your pervy uncle and keep your kids away from him at Thanksgiving. Okay.
You think you want like Quentin Tarantino just filming your daughter's feet all the time? A little weird. Just keep your shoes on.
All right. So she ends up not going to the cabin because I still don't remember.
She gets
She
a
just
vision.
peels out.
Vision of the dude dying. Oh no, the old lady.
The
died.
old lady. The old lady from earlier who had nothing to do with this story. And so as a result of it, she ends up like Melissa drives the daughter and the fucking doll to the old lady's house. Because the old lady does end up killing herself by slicing open her neck with a record.
Yeah. Breaks the record and just slice. We don't see it though. That's what's disappointing.
Right. And so, then we get the Scully is trying to vacation within a bathtub. She ignores a phone call, and she wasn't going to listen to the message that was left in her room. But then the fucking chief shows up all oakley dokley and ma'am and shucks. Oh, God. Shows up to the crime scene. He's like, buddy, the other cop, the thirsty-ass cop, show her the thing. And it shows her the record piece that she'd sliced herself with.
Yeah.
So I guess that was going to be impactful. It kind of wasn't in 4080p, but, so Mulder calls at that moment. And that's another thing, too. Why does the chief have her cell phone? Because the chief hands is like, he picks up the phone. He's like, oh, it's for you. And it's Mulder just talking nonsense.
That's a good point. I guess I didn't really think about that. Why does he have her cell phone? I don't know.
Scully goes to lunch with the chief, and he starts like just shredding this giant lobster. I was so jealous.
Oh yeah, she looks disgusted by it.
It's great. I love lobster. I
love it too.
But if you've never ripped one apart, especially a giant bug like that, it's very clear that you're disassembling a body.
She's like, this looks like something out of Jules Verne. It is humongous, that lobster.
That was like a 12-pound fucking lobster. That was big. So they start talking about what actually happened to Polly's dad. He catches the doll in a lobster pot, and then 3 days later, Polly's dad gets a fucking hook through his head. Yeah. That looked cool.
It did.
It didn't make everything else in this episode worth it, but that one kill, excellent.
Yeah, that was real cool.
Mulder randomly calls Scully and fills her in about the doll being a spirit. Like, she just asks him, hey, can dolls be possessed and make humans do stuff? And he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Why do you ask? Oh, no reason. Then she hangs up on him again.
This reminds me of that episode, was it War of the Copperphages, where Scully's just kind of like sitting around and Mulder keeps calling her and just asking things. And she's like, Mulder, do you need me to come up there? He's like, no. And hangs up so he could flirt with Bambi. Same sort of dynamic here, but she keeps hanging up with him. But Mulder's just sitting in his office the entire time. Like, I didn't understand that because I was like, okay, they're supposed to be quote unquote on vacation, but why isn't Mulder like learning about some sort of paranormal thing? Like, why is he literally just sitting at his desk this entire weekend doing nothing?
He's on vacation.
Yeah, but I would think that even when you're on vacation, you would we've seen Mulder like working out and doing various things. Like, he's literally just sitting at his desk.
He could be practicing climbing trees.
He could.
But he's not. He's just sitting at his desk, sharpening pencils, watching pornography, doing...
watching porn in a government facility. Only Mulder. Only Mulder.
So we cut back to... Buddy is dead, lying on the floor of the kitchen at Melissa's house while Melissa is making popcorn. And then she starts doing the worst job of putting nails in doors and window sills I've ever seen.
This is really bothering you, isn't it?
It's so bad.
Nails.
You don't put a nail and just like tap it gently until it just sits in the wood and be like, oh yeah, this is gonna stop this. I don't fucking know. But they see Holly, or the chief, and Scully pulls up. They see her inside. They're trying to get in the whole time. Or Melissa sees herself with a hammer stuck in her face,
Yeah.
and she's overacting, as she does throughout the whole of this episode. The doll decides that it's time to kill mommy, and mommy is trying to grab like a knife, a spork, a thermometer, whatever drawer she opens. The spirit in the doll is just shutting it. She's like, "No, you're gonna go find that hammer that she locked up in a cabinet somewhere else with a lock on it." The whole time, Scully and the chief are trying to get into this house, and they barely get in as she gets the hammer in her hand, and she just starts going to work on herself with the
Yeah.
hammer. I think that should have had a lot more punch, but I realized that this was Fox back in the 90s.
Well, she's
That
hitting her
could
forehead like she was hitting them nails. She doesn't know how to do it properly.
gently.
What bothered me about that whole sequence is she's kind of like at the end of this hallway, and she's smacking herself in the head with this hammer while the little girl is holding Chinga. And Scully comes over to the little girl, and she sits, like, kind of kneels down. She's like, Polly, give me Chinga. Give me Chinga, Polly. Give me Chinga. Give me Chinga. She repeats it over. I'm like, just take the doll from the little
Yeah.
kid. This woman is smacking herself in the face with a hammer repeatedly while Scully is just sitting there, not taking the doll from the little girl, just requesting that the little girl hand her the doll. Take it, Scully. God.
Yeah, just it could have been just one good stiff arm. Like
Yeah.
probably 5-6 years ago, they filmed Gage getting run over, blown apart by a semi on a highway.
Yeah.
She could have just punched the kid.
Classic. All-time classic scene.
So she takes the doll and apparently decides that the best way to exorcise the demon is in a microwave. And that's how it goes. The doll lights itself on fire. She stops hitting herself with a hammer, and then we cut away to, I didn't even put anything down. I think I was just kind of done. But at the end of the episode, there's some dude dragging a fucking lobster pot out of the water, and there is burned up Dolly, fuck the doll, opening their eyes and saying, "I want to play."
How? Why? Nobody knows. Voodoo. Voodoo, I guess, is why this doll keeps ending up at the bottom of the sea and keeps being pulled up in lobster traps. Okay,
You know
Jeremy.
what? I got it.
Oh,
Queequeg grabbed the doll, and then the alligator got Queequeg and drug it under the sea. That's how it happened.
all right. Your take on Chinga?
That Stephen King was actually attached to it. Like there was a time in my life where I was going over to a dude's house where I lived at in Aurora every Friday, and we would watch a Stephen King movie. There was a couple of DVD places in Grand Island that was doing these crazy like buy one or buy two and get four free deals.
Wow.
So we would show up and just buy everything that had Stephen King's name attached to it. And then we'd just sit down and watch one or two movies in a Friday night, get way wasted drunk just because. And by and large, as a Stephen King fan, I've just accepted my whole life that you get a gem in the rough every once in a great while, but everything else is just dog shit terrible. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love rolling around in that. This episode was also dog shit terrible, but I didn't love it. Like I love those other Stephen King things.
What is your favorite bad Stephen King movie?
Probably Langoliers.
Oh, Langoliers, yeah. That's a good
It's
one.
real shit, but like the guy with the paper problem still ooks me out. Ooks me out like not many people do, but yeah, that movie was real bad.
Mr. Toomey. My favorite bad Stephen King movie is Sleepwalkers. And the reason why, so people who don't know me know that I am like deathly allergic to cats. At least certain cats. I have always have allergies around cats. Some cats just put me in a state that I could literally die, as Jeremy's cats have done in the past before. Um, Sleepwalkers, I always tell people because I hate cats with an undying passion. I hate them. I just hate them. And Sleepwalkers opens with this front yard with all these trees and hundreds of cats hanging dead from these trees. I'm like, greatest opening to a movie in cinematic history, Sleepwalkers. So,
That's fucked
yeah,
up, Matt.
that's my favorite bad Stephen King movie because it is bad. So yeah, this one, yeah, I saw Stephen King's name on it. I got very, very excited. I was disappointed, obviously, by the cold open. I was like, okay, I wish this was a little bit more graphic than what we got. And this thing was just awful. Like, it's not as bad as the Killer Tree episode from last week. It's at least better than that. And
It's
I think that,
watchable.
yeah, I think the reason why I liked kind of Scully trying to sort of figure this out on her own. Mulder's, not really, he throws out wild theories, obviously, throughout the episode from his, office in the basement of the FBI. But it's basically a Scully centric episode, and I do like the concept that Scully actually encounters the paranormal on her own. And there is a sequence in this episode that I really enjoyed when she calls Mulder, when you could tell that she's now buying the fact that this doll is like, I don't even know what the doll is. Is it haunted? Is it a spirit? Like, what did they ever even explain this doll in any detail as to what's actually going on with the doll? I don't even remember.
Outside of the phone calls where Mulder is just making shit up because he's bored, no.
Okay. But she's like, actually, she witnesses the paranormal events. She comes to realize that this is a thing. She actually has to begrudgingly reach out to Mulder to be like, do you know anything about, dolls? And like Mulder makes some joke. He's like Chucky? Like Killer Doll. I liked all of that stuff. I liked seeing Scully in something other than a pantsuit, tight white shirt with mane across the chest. That was wonderful. But man, this doll was stupid. The little girl with the angry, evil, stink face constantly. I just wanted to be like, enough. Not good. Not good. When you have somebody like Stephen King who's kind of like writing, you'd think it would be a little more quality. Now, next
Yeah.
episode, we're going to get William Gibson wrote that. And you can see it's much higher quality. So, Mr. Neuromancer himself. Kill switch. So yeah. Any other final thoughts about this episode overall before I jump into the fun facts?
No.
Okay. So I've got Wikipedia pulled up here. I'm just going to kind of read the production notes here because I actually did not sort of go through. I didn't have time to go through and kind of like put these out for this episode. So let's see what Wikipedia says here. The episode was co-written by horror author Stephen King. King initially approached series co-star David Duchovny and informed him that he was a fan of the show and wanted to work on an episode. After contacting series creator Chris Carter, he was hired as a guest writer after first being offered the chance to write an episode of Millennium. Now that would have been cool. Stephen King doing an episode of Millennium.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, during the writing process, King worked remotely at his home in Maine, sending drafts of the script for Carter to rewrite. Oh God, this is a Chris Carter. Oh, Carter heavily edited the story because, as he explained, quote, Stephen wasn't used to writing for Mulder and Scully. The Mulder and Scully story in his original draft didn't work, unquote. Carter helped finalize the draft, which was one of his biggest changes being the separation of Mulder and Scully. Kim Manners, the director for the episode, later said, quote, I was very excited to be able to direct a Stephen King piece, and when it was all said and done, there was very little Stephen King left in it. The nuts and bolts were his, but that one was really one of Chris's scripts, unquote. I want to formally apologize to Stephen King for anything I disparaged. I guess assuming that he wrote the episode. No, this looks like Chris Carter just took his story and rewrote it into a Chris Carter thing. Does that make more sense now to you, Jeremy, that Chris
I
Carter
I
did
too would like to take this opportunity on the record to apologize to Mr. Stephen King. Every awful thing I said about this episode is not directed at you in any way, shape, or form. This is
Yep.
all hate for Chris Carter's right.
Chris Carter. Why is it always Chris Carter? During filming, Gillian Anderson struggled with delivering her lines. She explained, quote, "The way the script was originally read to me initially seemed to me as if Scully kind of stepped up to the plate and played along with the sheriff's humor," unquote. Thus, she performed her lines in a tongue-in-cheek manner before Carter called her and told her that her lines were not meant to be humorous. He also informed her that the production staff was having to, quote, "edit out a lot of stuff," unquote, to correct the issue. Several of the episode scenes were shot on location. For instance, the gas station scene was filmed at a real gas station across from the series' production headquarters. Likewise, the supermarket scenes were filmed in a real store named Shop Easy, located in Port Coquitlam. The scenes required the supermarket to close before the Christmas holiday and be installed with upright freezers. Reportedly, during the self-mutilation scene in the supermarket, a real customer stumbled onto the set, saw the commotion, and hurriedly left in a panic. The Death Under Glass scene featuring Dave the Butcher with a knife in his eyes was created in post-production with the help of a computer. Special effects supervisor Lori Kelson tested the scene on her 9 and 11-year-old sons, explaining, quote, "I gauge a lot of the show by whether my kids can stand them or not. If they can't, I figure I succeeded. Chinga bothered them a lot," unquote. Chinga, the titular evil doll, was created by sewing together various doll parts. An oversized doll's head was then attached to the body and fitted with the world's largest wig. Unbeknownst to either Carter or King, the word chinga is a colloquial Spanish swear word. Most of the makeup effects were created by artist Tony Landala, who, quote, "appreciated the chance to work on a Stephen King project," unquote. So there you go. Shocking. Chris Carter is the one that changed Stephen King's script. I'd kind of like to read that original script if it was floating around out there. I wonder how different it would have been. So in this one, Chris Carter split up Mulder and Scully, but I would assume that in Stephen King's version, they were together through this whole time. Would you have preferred them to be together, or did you like the dynamic that Mulder and Scully were separated in this one?
I like Mulder Light episodes normally, so I liked how that went. I would have rather.
Okay, so there you go, folks. That's fuck episode 10 of season 5 of the X-Files. Leave a like and comment down below. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Next week, we will be back with a new episode on Friday for eXhuming the X-Files. We're going to be talking Kill Switch, written by the aforementioned William Gibson. So say goodbye, Jeremy.
Goodbye, everybody.